Yeah, old school. That's what I'm talking about. Listen, this ain't for everybody. But some of y'all need to hear this. I know you're in the trenches fighting, but check it out. I'm gonna put it down like this so I can help you things understand. Everything you're going through is all part of the master plan. Or what? You thought cause you got saved everything was gonna be peaches and cream? You better wake up, son. Don't nothing come to a sleeper but a dream. Faith without works is dead. Read your Bible, you know what it says. He who don't work don't eat. Slackers don't get fed. Yeah, Jesus said he who puts his hand to the plow looks back the same ain't fit. Some of y'all ain't been in the trenches 5 minutes and you about ready to quit. I ain't mad at ya, I'm just hitting you with the real. If you died for me and I was still tripping, now how you think that make you feel? Check this out, deep game, this here's deep. Some of y'all ain't sawing nothing but you started trying to reach. But unto him who is able to position faultless by his glory. Struggles might be part of your testimony, but it ain't the end of the story. Now the point is this was prophesied way back in the day. Choir, sing your hook right here and see if the church can relate.
I know we can make it. Oh, we can make it. I know good and well. God can work it out. He'll work it out. Work it out. Yeah, he'll work it out. I know we can make it. We can make it. I know good and well. God can work it out. Yes, he can. Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Yeah, we're going to pump the brakes right there. Welcome, everybody. It's your host, Lamont Patterson. You listen to Can a Player Play. I just had to give a minute to Big Boy upstairs, you know, because it's my belief and hope it is yours, too. He's going to work this thing out because we are living in some crazy times right about now. So we really, 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 really need his help in a big old way. Anyway, we got a great show lined up for you today. And I know I'm very interested in to jump into this because I know I have some of these issues, and I know our guest today is going to be able to fix some of these things we're dealing with. So today we got Miss Shalanda Tooks Wilder is going to be joining us. Is going to help us with some of our little career issues. Let me see if she's with us. Hello, are you with us, Miss Wilder?
Hi, Shalanda here. How are you?
Hi, Shalanda. How you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So much looking forward to this because I know myself and a lot of my other friends, you know, we have issues, especially when it comes to, you know, juggling our careers and our personal life as well.
Yes.
So, one moment, let me give you a little brief introduction. Today we got Shalanda Tooks Wilder is going to be joining us, and she has a unique background, a blend of marriage and family therapy and organizational development. Therefore, she enjoys helping individuals as well as organizations reach their goals and increase productivity. She believes that issues at work affect our personal lives, which it does. Issues in our personal lives affect our job performance, which it does. As a result of this, she works with individuals on their time management and goal settings. Shalanda is also a military brat and a military spouse who understands transitions all too well. And, Shalanda, I'm going to stop right there and let you fill in all the rest.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so because I am a military brat, for those who don't know, military brat simply means I grew up as a child in the military. And lucky me, I married someone who went into the military. So the military I know a lot about. And I understand that they go through a lot of transitions while they're in and when they come out. That's a big step, too, a big challenge they have to go through when they come out of the military back into the civilian world because it's two different worlds.
Is that at all similar to, law enforcement?
It's similar as far as, they have a mission to protect and they go on actual missions. The law enforcement, I know they have their shifts and most of them can come home at the end of their shifts. Military, they're basically always on duty. Even when they're on leave or on vacation, they can still get called back to quote unquote work even while they're on vacation with their family. So it's similar, but it's still, a big difference in the two. And then, of course, the military, they protect our country from the forces of evil, as you can call it. Yeah. So it's a high-stress job, career.
Well, I guess I was looking at it totally from the layman's point of view, because it seems like the military people that I've ran into, they haven't been able to turn off military. And the law enforcement, when they get off and get home, they can't turn off law enforcement. You know what I mean?
Right.
They still have that same they still have that same mindset.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, and that's
Anyway, so much about that. I don't, let's talk about you. What drew you into this career coaching and family therapy?
Well, I started out in marriage and family therapy. I went to school and got my dual master's in marriage and family therapy and professional counseling. Now, while I was interning and working with families and marriages, I noticed that there was a correlation between people's personal happiness and their career satisfaction. And a lot of people is that they didn't have time to do things they really wanted to do after work.
Right. Shalanda, can I stop you right there?
Sure.
Only because I want you to break down a little bit about exactly what is career coaching for our listeners that don't understand what career coaching actually is.
Okay. Now, career coaching is basically working with a person, and there's different types of career coaches. And basically a career coach works with the person to help them find the career they're interested in, and they help them find an actual job. We take a person through the steps they need to go through to land the career that they want. Now, for me, I'm a career coach who works with people in transition. You have career coaches that will work a lot with people on their resume skills and interviewing skills. I work with people who are in transition, and I work on them from the start of the job hunt all the way up to the job offer, where they need to know how to negotiate their salary.
Okay. Yeah, well, the reason I ask that because people say, I need a career coach, but they don't really know what the responsibilities are, or, even what to expect when they go to seek one,
Yeah. And you know what else, too, is because of my background in therapy, a lot of people sometimes come to a career coach, well, most people come and they already have personal issues. And the unique thing about me is I've done counseling, and I know what to look for when a person has other issues going on besides I need a new job. And I'm able to work with them on whatever other issue that they're having. Some people don't even know what they want to be, as I call it, don't know what they want to be when they grow up. And I work on them with that as well, yeah.
Now, that's an interesting concept, working with somebody to figure out what they want to be, and they themselves don't even know what they want to be.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's interesting.
It happens a lot more than you realize. It really does. We get, life happens, and some people end up having children or they drop out of school, and so they take whatever job they can get, but they're not really happy because, what did I say earlier? Your personal happiness correlates with your career satisfaction.
Well, ladies out there that listen to the show, listen to that.
Yeah. So that's basically what I do is I do give people career assessments and they can take these online. It's so easy. You can Google it yourself and type in career assessment. It'll help you decide or figure out what careers go with your personality, which is an amazing thing with career assessments. And then you can assess your skills. Do you need to go back to college, or is a bachelor's degree enough? And that's basically where you can start from for those who don't know what they want to be and they're not happy in their current job or career. You can go online, and Google can be our best friend some days, and find a free career assessment. If you want to pay for something, all the better. You'll get that much more details on your assessment. But it's great to work with a career coach because we have the training and the knowledge to walk you through the steps that you need to get you from here to your end goal.
Wow, so you definitely seem like you have a very interesting job.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is. Yeah, I have my latest client is she just had a baby, and it's that much harder for women when we have children because we're automatically looked to as the caregiver, even though there are some amazing stay-at-home dads in the world. The woman is usually looked at as the primary caregiver, and
True.
it's unfortunate. Unfortunately, when we go to job interviews, if the hiring manager knows that a woman has kids, they're more reluctant to hire that person, which is not right, of course. And so I'm working with this particular client to strategize her job search so that, she can do a job that she'll love while taking care of her family.
That sometimes seems like it becomes into a hard balance to manifest because, of course,
yes.
your job has pressing on you because you need to work in order to make ends meet. But then sometimes your family feel neglected because you have to work to make ends meet.
Yes, yep, exactly. And that's when my time management skills come in and goal setting. People don't realize that when you're in a relationship and a marriage, you should have relationship goals. And that can be, let's eat dinner together every night, or let's take the whole family out on a staycation. You don't have to go out of town all the time. You could do a little staycation in town. Everybody, let's spend a day together on the weekend. Yeah.
That's good. That's good advice. What would you tell the men and women out there that have issues with turning off their career objectives?
Yeah, that's a big one. That causes a lot of conflict in so many relationships. Thing that has to happen is the person has to realize that they are putting work over family, because what's going to happen if they don't think they are doing anything wrong, that's a conflict right there. So first and foremost, the person has to acknowledge, yeah, love, I have been spending a lot of time at work. This is how I think I can be at home more or come to a compromise. You have to compromise in relationships. We cannot have everything our way in a relationship with another person. We just cannot. So we have to learn how to compromise and ask the other person, well, what do you want? Do you want me home every night for dinner? Do you want me alone once a week? What is it? So in a relationship, when a person is overworked or overworking, but another person only sees it that way, they have to be able to talk about the way they feel and do so in a calm manner, because you don't want to make the other person defensive.
Which is easy to do. And I guess the reason I brought up that question is because a lot of my associates, they're in the entertainment business. So they don't really have a 9 to 5 per se. So, you know, they work a little different than you would a person that does have a 9 to 5 to get, you know, a check every 2 weeks. So it makes this guy or young lady with the entrepreneurial thing going on. You know, they working 24/7. That's how their mind goes, because you know they don't do what they do. They don't eat, so they don't have the shall I say the comfort that the other person has. That they know the 1st and the 15th they finna get a check.
Right. Yeah.
And I see that. And I see that creating a whole lot of problem, because the people, the entrepreneurial people, you know, they don't see that they doing nothing wrong, because this is what they have to do. This is how they survive. This is all they know, and this is how they're going to make ends meet for them and their loved ones. Yeah. So they don't have the comfort to sit down, or their schedule is different. So when the other person like I want to go on a vacation, this other person say, well, I can't do that right now, because if I go do that, then I won't be able to work and take care of this over here, and then we're going to have a problem anyway.
Yeah, that's why I said to talk to the other person to see what they want, because you may not be able to make it to dinner every night, but you may have some time on the weekend to spend with that person. So you have to ask the other person expectations are, and the other person making a request has to be realistic, you know?
Yeah. That's important, being realistic and stay off those TV dramas.
Oh, man, yes. People have their face in the screen way too much. And, you know, their time, people don't realize how much time they really have. If they would just spend a little less time on their social media and reading all this and that on their screens and just monitor that time and spend more time with the people that are in their space, your relationship will just blossom, you know, and then your career will blossom because you will have more time to focus on your career goals as well as anything going on in your personal life, your personal goals. You'll have more time to work on those as well because you're monitoring the time that you're wasting.
Good stuff, good stuff. Listen, for those that just joined the show, if you'd like to join the conversation, press number 1 on your phone. And for those that's listening at home or wherever you may be, the call-in number is 646-929-2870. Press number 1 and let us know you're there. We're glad to let you join in. Shalanda, here you go. Now, what makes you sound like a guy on a boxing show? What makes you the queen of time management and goal setting?
Okay. Yes, sir. What makes me the queen of time management goal setting is I've gone through the phase of rushing, waking up, hitting the ground running, being late to things, having goals. I've had to stop and reflect and say, okay, Shalanda, what do you really want? And I had to do this by looking at my time, how I was spending my time, who I was spending my time with, and I had to look at where I wanted to be in life. And a part of time management, as I said, is looking at where you're wasting your time. A lot of people get caught up in spending too much time on people that are not good for them. And they think, well, we have history together, so I feel obligated. But if a person is not good for you, it is okay to cut the ties. God will send somebody in your life that you really need. And everything happens in a season. And we should be learning lessons from everyone that's in our life. And we should also be inputting into everyone's lives as well, not just being takers. And my time management, and with my time management, I made a conscious decision to be more respectful of my time and the time that we have here on earth. And that is how I turn into the queen of time management and goal setting. I learned how to set goals, and I had to learn how to make them realistic. And it was just a process I started at a very young age, and I've carried it all through life, and I've been sharing it with others because I want to see other people succeed as well.
Wow, Shalanda, you just gave our listeners a whole bunch of jewels right there. and what I personally got out of it, ladies and gentlemen, quit wasting your time on knuckleheads.
Yes. Yes. There you go.
I think we all know if something is going to produce, and you know a positive person versus one that's a negative person, you know, the spirits and all of that. And, I mean, we know.
Yeah, we know. We sure do.
You know, we're just in denial and don't want to accept it, and it's just like you know this little devil on the left shoulder, and you got this other one on the right shoulder with the halo saying, you know better than that, and the devil says,
right.
You better go and do that. You know it's gonna be good.
Right. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, looking at the now, how good it's going to feel now, instead of looking at later, how much better it'll feel later. We don't mess with that nonsense.
Yeah. Question: how does one successfully transition from their career, their dream career? And I know here in the United States, and I hate to say this, but you know this country is full of followers. They're not full of leaders, and we tend to talk a lot about what we're going to do, what we want to do, but putting it in gear a lot of times is something completely different. So
it is.
Tell us, what do you do to make that transition, to get it moving?
Yeah. All right. I work with two different types of transitioners. I work with transitioners that may be, for example, leaving town like a military member would, or a military spouse. And I work with transitioners who are in a job. They're happy with the company, but they may want a promotion. And what goal is, I find out which transition they're in and what their goal is. If you want to transition within your career, look at your goal, write out the steps that need to get there. Like you said, people just follow and don't put any actions behind their words. Write out your steps so they are in your face, and then put a timeline on it. This all sounds very basic, but it's very important to have this written in front of your face and to actually work on it, and get someone who will hold you accountable. You need somebody that is going to nag you and make you do what you need to do, because if we rely on ourselves, 9 times out of 10 we'll say, oh, I'll just do it tomorrow. I'm just going to, chill out today, relax, take it easy. And next thing you know, it's a month later and we still haven't taken that first step. So if you want a good transition, write down where you want to be. I call this a career map also. Write down your steps. If you want to be, for example, the department head at your job, or supervisor, department supervisor, and you are one of the workers, find out if you need your bachelor's, find out how much experience you need, and start working on that. Take it step by step. And also tell someone who's going to hold you accountable, not tear you down. You don't want to tell people that are going to be like crabs in a bucket trying to hold you back. Oh, girl, guy, you can't do that. Why even think about being a department head, Tell someone who's going to help you.
Okay, question here, because another thought. I don't know. My head be jumping out of the box. How does one determine? A lot of people can't. Shalanda, a lot of people can't take corrective criticism.
Yeah.
They don't. I'm trying to forgot to say this correctly. They can't accept corrective criticism, and they want to take it as you tearing them down, because I heard you mention that too. But sometimes to give somebody corrective criticism, your intentions are not malicious to make it like you're trying to tear them down. But if you don't let them know, how will they know? How do you get through to those type people?
So the constructive criticism, people who don't know how to take constructive criticism, I should say, they are going to have a hard time moving forward in life if they can't take words that they perceive as negative from anyone. One thing about, if you want to transition in your career, you're going to have to know how to take constructive criticism, and you're going to have to know how to reflect and know when the criticism is actually constructive or not. That's why I said make sure you have someone in your life that's going to hold you accountable, and make sure you are doing your action steps. You know when someone is being constructive and when they're just being malicious because of the way they say things, their tone. So you can figure it out. But if you want to succeed in anything in life, really, you have to be able to take constructive criticism and not be offended anytime someone says something you don't agree with.
I think the first and most important thing in all that, too, you must have to be yourself willing to make a change. Because if you're not willing to make a change, no matter what somebody say or do, you're not going to hear it. You know.
Yeah.
You'll go in one ear right out the other.
Yeah. Yep. That's the other part of it too. Yeah, you have to be willing to make the change and put in the work, because, like you said, it's going to go in one ear and out the other, and you're not going to get anywhere because you're not listening to anybody that's trying to help you.
Boy, life. Now, here's a good one, boy. How does one manage being a career mom? How does one manage being a career mom and an engaged dad without suffering burnout? I think we meant to talk about that briefly, but let's hit that one again, because that's an everyday thing.
It is. I was going to say we talked on that earlier in the conversation a little bit, and this again, it's all about that time management. I'm telling you, time management is something we have to do every day. We have time every day, right? So we have to manage the time every day. And that means getting your priorities straight, looking at your distractors, because we all have distractions in our lives, and we have to root out and get rid of whatever is not helping us be constructive. It's okay to go on social media sometimes, but when you're doing it every day for hours every day, do you know how much work you can get done and how much time we spend computers and just clicking on different links and watching other people have fun? You get so much done. You can spend so much time with your family. You can relax so that you don't have burnout. I think people should find ways to relax away from electronics. Go enjoy the outdoors and do it with your family, and that'll help you with suffering from burnout, and that'll keep your family from feeling they're being neglected and ignored.
Yeah, go fishing or something, huh?
Right? Yeah, that's tranquil. Yeah.
That's crazy, boy. Listen, but it definitely takes all of that, and I know in your family therapy and your career coaching and stuff, I know you deal with some of these type people. So what do you do with procrastinators?
Oh yeah, those are the ones that want everything. We have to understand the root of procrastination, because this was one thing that I had struggled with. And with procrastinators, we want things perfect, And then when we start thinking about, oh, man, it may not turn out perfect, I need to do this, this, and that to make it perfect, we wasted all this time, and then we just end up not even attacking the task because we're so concerned about perfection. Now, with procrastinators, we put an action step, and everyone should do that, is have an action step and something that you're going to do within the next 24 hours, because otherwise you're just going to be back, or you're going to stay in the routine of procrastinating. So whatever your goal is, do a step within the next 24 hours. And I can't stress enough the importance of having a supportive partner, someone, friend, neighbor, colleague, someone that you can talk to and let them know and update them on your goals and tell them how you are moving forward.
So when you say action step, what does that
Mm-hmm.
what does that exactly mean? A task or a chore or something that you could say, I did this for complete, or what is it exactly?
Yes. So let's go back to the example of someone wanting to move up in their career. Now, their first step they would need to do is, after they say, okay, I want to move up, I want to be a department head, they need to find out, if they don't know this already, they need to find out what skills and education they need in order, to move up into that position, because some hiring managers, I've seen this happen to people because they don't have their bachelor's degree, they are not promoted just because they didn't finish that last year or two of school, but they have all the experience. So that this person who wants to move up to department head needs to find out what their steps are. And the first step, if that first step is finishing college, then you need to research in your area and find out the deadline for turning your application and submitting your application fee. So that's what I mean. You need to do steps, something that's going to move you towards that end goal.
You can actually do that and get it complete, and not just say, well, I'm going to register. I'm going to register.
Yeah.
I'm going to do
right.
it. I'm going to do it because I know I got to go do this. I'm going to do it.
Right.
And then here go another year or two go by, and they're still going to do it. And then they have somebody to the side like, well, listen, I thought you was going to go enroll and take that class so you can get that promotion.
Exactly.
But when you going to do it? Well, I'm going to do it. Well, when you going to do it?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. And if you feel nagged enough, then you'll say, well, shoot, let me go ahead and find out, when is this application due? It's only $35, only $25 fee. I can save that up. And you go ahead and fill it out and turn it in. That's your first step. And keep telling that person that's nagging you, when are you going to do it? Did you do it yet? When are you going to do it? Let them know, hey, I turned in my application and the fee today. Keep them updated.
Now, have you had the opportunity during your coaching and your therapy with other people that you just got to the point where, you know what, you just a helpless case. I can't do nothing with it.
Yeah, I have had, I had one or two people last year, just too many excuses, and, I'm so busy, and I said, well, you know what, good luck, and, I hope you get to where you need to go. But I have had people who just made excuses, and there are people who want to use a career coach and not make excuses, and we're taught in our training, if you have someone that's full of excuses, then you have to let them go, because if they're just going to make excuses, you can spend your time working on someone who's ready to hit the ground running and get moving.
Right. Because I hear a lot, even in my job, people, I'm going to do it. And I know I tend to be a little impatient sometimes because my mind is always clicking, And when I want something done, I want it done now because I want to move on to the next thing. I don't want I don't want to keep it's like a track star, and there's a hurdle right there. Either you stop and ponder at that hurdle, like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I didn't already figure out before I got there. Either I'm going to go around it, go under it, or I'm going to go over it. But I'm not going to stop at this doggone hurdle because I'm trying to get to the end. And what I noticed, a lot of people don't think like that. They just kind of, they're in like a stride. They run and they trot and they get to the hurdle and they get there and they start scratching their head.
Right. Oops. Yeah, right.
You're like, what should I do? I'm like, I'll be looking at them like, fool, you should have thought about that when you took off.
Way back, yeah.
Way back there at the start date. You just thought about that.
Yeah. And that's what career coaches are for. Mhm.
Wow.
I
imagine you have to have a lot of patience to do what you do.
Oh, yeah, definitely. You definitely have to have a lot of patience. And I'm not one to raise my voice or get overly excited, but I can be very blunt and straightforward, and that's what people need. They need someone to tell them, why didn't you do your homework? Told me you wanted a career coach so you could get a new job because you haven't worked in 6 months, and the homework was going to help you fill out your first application in 6 months. What stopped you from getting that done? I had to do that to someone recently. What happened to your homework? And the person was like, oh, I lost track of time. But, it happens, and I can't, it would not be fair for me and for the person I'm working with, actually. It would not be fair to them if I was not straightforward with them and challenge them, because that's what people need. They need to be challenged and held accountable, can move forward. Remember what I said earlier? If we rely on ourselves, we'll say, oh, I'll just take it easy. I'll relax today. But if you have your supportive partner,
I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Exactly. We'll procrastinate. And it'll be a month later, but we have someone, all right, your career coach, you're meeting with them every week. And then you think, okay, oh, man, it's Wednesday. I got to meet with my career coach. I got to meet Shalanda Friday. Let me go ahead and work on my application so I can say I did something. It'll keep you accountable and have that sense of urgency to keep moving and that sense of motivation. It'll keep you motivated to keep moving forward.
What made you decide you wanted to get into this field?
Well, from an early age, I've always been an observer or a people watcher, and it's just watching how people interacted with each other and how they think, that always intrigued me. And so I went into psychology to learn the science behind our behavior and social psychology. And then, as I said earlier, I went and pursued my dual master's in counseling and family therapy. And that got me into the whole coaching thing because counseling doesn't allow the same freedoms as coaching does. As far as, the insurance and everything like that. And so I got into coaching because that's something that really I found enjoyable when I started doing it. Yeah.
And before you went to school to get training, did you find yourself just doing it on your own, just as a natural, just helping and coaching people and giving them direction?
Yeah. As a matter of fact, I remember in college and in high school even, people would come up to me asking for advice, and it just felt good being able to give people advice, and they knew they didn't have to worry about me running my mouth. They knew that Shalanda's not going to tell all your business, and that, now that I look back, that did get me started with the interest in actually going into counseling because I had started doing it or the coaching with my peers. Listening to people's problems. I remember working in the mall and people would start telling me their personal business, and I would be wondering why. And I guess it was just something about me that relaxed people, and something about my personality let them know, hey, I can tell this lady my business, and she'll give me some proper feedback.
Well, it seemed like you found a perfect career for your personality.
I think so. Yeah.
That's definitely a blessing.
Yeah,
so
I really enjoy people.
Would you do anything different if you had the chance?
Things different, like a different career path.
Yeah, I mean,
so.
if you had a do-over, would you do the same thing, or would you do something different?
Yeah. If I had a do-over, I would have pursued it sooner, because I did sit out of college for a year. I think I sit out. Letting people waste my time basically, and let's see, I went part-time sometimes, but yeah, I definitely would have pursued it sooner and been more respectful of my time and not waste it on family that just wanted to use me for whatever it was they wanted at the time. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Say that again. Talk about family, because
Oh, yeah.
Hey, look, I know we can choose our friends, but we can't choose our family. We just got what we got. So, yeah, say that part again about them using and misusing and taking you for granted. People need to hear that part.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I would have been more respect for my time for a family that just wanted to use me at the time when I was in my 20s for wherever it was that they wanted, because that really slowed me down from pursuing my own goals, wasting time with family that just wanted to use me. Did I hit it? Did I repeat myself?
Well, yeah. I guess what I was listening at, the use versus the misuse.
Yeah.
So, okay, we talked about that. I know we had a question here about interviews and resumes, and I know that's a big thing with careers. And I know I need a new resume. So tell us what ways can you make your resume stand out? And I'm listening very closely to this one because I need a new resume.
Okay. The thing about resumes is, you remember back in the day when you could just send out a general resume? Nowadays, they have to be very specific to the position that you want. In order to make your resume stand out, take the job description that you want and put some of those keywords. Don't copy and paste. Don't make it so obvious. But take some of those keywords in the job description, fit it into your resume. Make sure your resume is updated. And if you have any gaps in your resume, make sure you can explain those gaps so that it looks as though you were still making good use of your time and not just sitting at home waiting for the phone to ring. Do some volunteer work. Mention that on your resume, or mention that you were learning new skills, but don't let them know if you did happen to be someone who was sitting at home. Make it look as though you were still learning new skills, and that those new skills can be applied to the position that you're shooting for.
Are all resumes general, or should people look for a certain format based on whatever their job that they're going after?
There are, you have the chronological where you show your dates, and you have narrative resumes where it's paragraph form written for each job. And you also have federal resumes, which also have the supervisor's name in there, how much you got paid, supervisor's phone number, and whether or not the person doing the hiring can contact the supervisor. You have to put all that information in there. If you're going for a government job, typically federal resume, which has all that extra information. A lot of resumes I've seen lately, because I also do recruiting on the side, and I've seen recruiting managers and the hiring managers prefer the resumes that have the objective at the top, and then your typical education, and then your skills written in there as far as Microsoft, proficient Microsoft Excel, and, the little bullet points for your skills. And then the next part would be your actual work experience. So I've seen pretty much the same template for civilian jobs. So you just need to make sure, that you have those keywords in there for the job description, and make sure the resume is updated and make it nice and clean. Don't have different font sizes all over your resume, and don't have it in italics over here and then all caps over there. That makes it look messy. You want it to look clean, so have it in 11, 12 font. And people can also Google resume templates to help them fill out their resume.
Yeah, that's what that's what I was going to ask you about. That was there a resource where they can go get a template, or like from Word or Publisher or somewhere where they can go get different templates based on whatever they're trying to do.
Yeah, resumes are generally pretty much the same across the industries. So if you just search for a resume template, then something, examples will pull up. And I don't care for the Microsoft templates because of the formatting. It makes it hard for you to format if you're not really comfortable with Microsoft. And then if you're trying to email your resume, you don't want that template code or whatever they call it that's in the formatting. You don't want that formatting.
Right.
Sometimes the formatting gets messed up when you send it through email. So if you just use a blank Word doc yourself instead of using the pre-made or preset Word doc templates, you should be good.
Okay, I'm going to send in my resume, right?
Yeah, send in your resume and the job description so I have something to compare it against. Make sure you got your keywording done.
Oh, shoot. Oh, that should be easy. But yeah, that's a lot of people really don't even know how to put together a professional resume, because I see stuff come across my desk all the time and look like some student somewhere put it together, or you can tell it came from a template because there's a code somewhere, or they'll forget to take out the little line. That little line is like an underscore under something. They forget, and you're like, oh, okay. They tried to make it look nice, but the people that know what they're looking at, I mean, they just see those things, because at one point in time, we've all done that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
We've all done that at some point in time, so we know what to look for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what would be some tips you can give our listeners for doing well on an interview?
Oh, yeah. I just did a webinar on landing a job in 30 days, or landing an interview in 30 days or less. And I touched on the phone interview. the in-person interview and the video interview. Whether you are in person or using an electronic form to interview, you have to be professional at all times. I interviewed someone last week, and I could hear their car door going off. And what happens is when there is a distraction or noise in the background, it not only distracts the interviewer, because we have to figure out if you're a good candidate or not. So we're listening for a lot of things. And so have yourself in a quiet place so that you are not distracted by outside noises. I've had people interview with me while they were taking the subway home, and they couldn't hear me. I couldn't hear them. The phone call dropped. They had to call me back, and it was just a big mess, and it made them look very unprofessional. So make sure that you are in a quiet place when you are doing a phone interview, video interview. Please don't have a background of some girl hanging over a motorcycle. Please don't do that. Because a fellow career coach of mine, she helped a guy get an interview, and there was a poster in his background that the hiring manager didn't like. And I guess he had done an in-person interview and got the follow-up interview. And that poster, I think he was going to be working from home, and he was going to be working with clients for that business. And they were afraid that he would come off unprofessionally because of that poster, and they rescinded the offer.
Wow.
Yep. I said, that is unbelievable. Yeah. Yep, rescinded his offer.
Well, that's not as bad, Shalanda, as, I mean, I probably could deal with the poster more so than I could deal with a whole lot of clutter and dirty clothes in the background.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. Please don't have your laundry in the background. Don't have your kids back there jumping up and down, trying to get on camera. Be in a quiet room. Oh, don't have a window or a light behind you, because it'll make it hard for them to see as well on the video interview. Put the light source in front of you. And to the side will work too, but it's best if you put the light source in front of you. It'll make you look better on camera too. Yeah.
And what you say, don't have no baby kids pulling on you?
Right. Do not have your kids jumping in your lap trying to grab the spotlight. No, that's not good. And then as far as in-person interview, look professionally. I had a guy show up to an in-person interview. His clothes all wrinkled, and I felt bad for him because he obviously was sick. Please reschedule the interview. Don't bring your germs to people's workplace and make everybody else sick. And yeah, he ended up, he didn't get the job. He just, he didn't get the job. He was wiping his nose with his hand, and he looked like he was about to fall asleep. So he didn't come off as a really good candidate. Yeah, poor guy, he was so sick, but it happens. And hiring managers, they don't like that. Yeah, you have to be on the
person
top.
Probably, hey, look, he knew he had to get a job to get some money to go pay for some medicine, because nowadays that stuff ain't free. So I feel my man. I feel my man's pain. But what I see a lot of happening on job interviews, and correct me if I'm wrong, is people come to these interviews and their appearance is not on point. They dress inappropriately. Men and women, they dress inappropriately for a job, and they just don't look professional. And how does that work? What do people be thinking about?
Like with this young man that came in looking sickly, he not only looked sick in the face, I saw it in his clothes. The other employees could see his clothes. They were wrinkled, and he just looked like he rolled out of bed. And the hiring managers, after people leave, I have to hear about we brought this guy in, and they were, fortunately, my hiring managers were pretty good. They understood that I didn't see people. I did the phone screens, and then we all did the group interview together. But some people will come in with their flip-flops. What do you call those sandals, those little brown sandals people like to wear? They come in with those things on. Yeah. Yeah, toes all out for a job interview. No. Mm-mm.
Wow.
And let's see what else.
Ladies, ladies, no dresses too short.
Yes. Knee line.
I know these young guys have a tendency to want to run around with their pants sagging, and nobody wants to see your drawers when they come to apply for a job.
Right, exactly. Pull them up, put on a belt if you have to. Yeah. You have to look presentable because everybody's looking at it. Even the employees are watching you when you come in. And after the interview is over, even the employees will talk about you when you leave. They'll say, oh, man, why did that lady come in with a party dress on all the way up her mid-thigh, you know? And why was that guy's pants sagging so low? So the employees will say something. So you always want to look your best. And there's even, that's why they call it dress for success. Yeah, where you're. Now, one thing I want to point out, though, is some people feel they have to wear a suit. Let's say you're applying for a job, a labor-centered job, where you're going to be working a lot with your hands. You can wear a button-down shirt, a nice button-down shirt, and some khakis and some nice shoes. You don't have to be dressed like you're the CEO of the company for those types of interviews. You really don't. People, the hiring managers want to see somebody that looks clean and well-kempt and alert. You know, you want to look happy and excited, and you want to look like the ideal employee.
Right. Well, Shalanda, listen, we're down to the last minute and a half of the show, and I want you to be able to tell the people where they can get in contact with you.
Oh, sure. They can email me at Shalanda at TooksWilderGuidance.com. My first name is spelled ShalandasWilder Guidance. And also, they can look me up. They can type in Shalanda Says, and you'll find me on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. We're doing something different on YouTube, so check us out on there. They can email me with questions, and what I do on YouTube is I answer people's questions. Everyone doesn't want to pay for counseling, you know. So I'll answer questions and, make it fun.
Great. Well, I want to thank you so much for taking time out to come and chat with us. And for those who joined the show late, it'll be available in its entirety in a couple seconds. You can hear it anywhere you're at, wherever you're at in the world. So you have no excuse not to hear it from the beginning. And tell your mama to tell your dad, tell his cousin, tell his brother, tell his friend next door. They need to listen to this and get some coming uppings and figure out how they can correct themselves. Appreciate you all for listening. We appreciate our guests today. And check us out at worldmovement.com and come back next week. Thank you, Shalanda.
Thank you. Have a good one, all right?
You too.
Thanks.
more